Hi, everybody. Sam here. I am so excited to be here for another micro interview with my friend Carrie. And she is from across the pond, as we say here in the United States. I don't know if they say that over there or not. We'll let her answer that in a minute. But I'm so glad to be connected to her and to be able to share her with each of you. If you are here brand new, you just joined Safe Heart Connections, or you're finding us online, we are so glad you found us. If you have been around for a while, we're glad you came back. I believe that you can create a life and a business you love one choice at a time. And maybe something that we share today during this micro interview is something that you need to hear to help you get from where you're at now to closer to where you want to be. So, Carrie, I'm so glad truly to have you here and to be connected to you. I would love for you to share just a little bit about who you are. I like to call it your superhero origin story.
Thank you, Sam. I'm also really delighted and happy to be here talking to you and able to share who I am, how I've got where I am a little. So I think I was always interested in the body and how the body works and thought I was on a pathway to medicine, but that wasn't to be according to my exam results. And I went and did a physiology pharmacology degree. I'd always had a bad back from the age of 14. So I'd had a taster of an osteopath back then. My mum took me to her osteopath and she said to me, do osteopathy. This is at 14. And I said, no, I'm going to be a medic. I want to be a brain surgeon. So I went this other route in the medical school and did physiology pharmacology and realized very quickly that I didn't want anything to do with pharmacy, the pharmaceutical industry. For various reasons, the information they gave us, I thought this isn't very altruistic. This isn't a healing pathway. And I had a bit of an epiphany on the steps of the medical school. I want to be an osteopath. Flipped around, finished that degree, did another degree. And the day I started osteopathy, I knew that was me and absolutely loved it since. I love working with bodies and people, and I just have a fascination with how the body works. And then I did yoga alongside that, and then I've trained as a yoga teacher. So I feel I've got this kind of all-rounded body work thing going on that I really love. And it's been fed by the fact that I've had my own physical problems through my life, and I've had to overcome them and work on my body constantly. I was told age 33 when my back started hurting a little bit that my spine was pretty decrepit, like no disc at the bottom, and the others were awful. And they said, did you ride horses? A lot, and I'd never ridden a horse. So in theory, I have this very broken spine, but I've managed through working on myself and knowing what to do to be pain-free and healthy and mobile and all those things. And that's what I then have a passion to share with people that sometimes get bad diagnoses or prognoses. And it's really that there are possibilities and things that you can do to help yourself, which I've done for
Yeah.
myself. So I think
Yeah,
that's
that's so good. So you're an example of what you want for other people, being able to heal themselves and to
yeah.
not have as much pain. And I did hear that you said your mom suggested it a long time ago, and then you came up with this brand new idea. Was she like, that's a great idea? Or
Well,
did,
she was this. My mum was ahead of her time in a way because she was selling vitamins when I was a teenager, and she was taking me to the osteopath, and she was really into that sort of what was then called considered alternative stuff
um,
in those years. So yeah,
yeah,
she did. I guess that I haven't looked at it like that before. She must have been a bit like, oh yeah, I told you.
yeah.
She was quite behind me doing medicine as well, but
Yeah, so it sounds like she handled it well. She wasn't like being a jerk about it
oh
or
no,
anything. So yeah, it's just interesting how sometimes it made me think that sometimes somebody says something to us and then we have to sit with it and do our own thing first. And then we come back to it and we're like, oh, this actually really is good. We have to
no.
figure it out for ourselves.
I know
There's
the
probably a
seed.
lot more
No,
value. There's a lot more value to you figuring it out on your own than to just do it because somebody else told you, oh, this was something for you.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's life. We can't tell anybody anything until they're
Yeah.
ready to
No.
hear it or ready to catch it. Yeah.
100, 100% I agree with that. All right. So the cornerstone of these micro interviews is me asking the woman sharing to share a tip, thought, or piece of advice. It literally can be anything you think that would add value to anyone listening or watching. And it can be about your work, it could be about life, it can be about anything that you think would add value. So what say
Okay.
you, Miss Turk?
I think one of the most valuable things that I believe, one of my sort of philosophies that I was taught through osteopathy is that our bodies have a self-healing capacity. Our bodies can heal themselves. And I think we live in a society where we're quick to hand over to the powers that be or someone else to fix us. And I want to really reinforce that we have the capacity inside us to be, with a bit of help, but eventually our own guide, our own teacher, our own, in my case, postural coach.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's really that people don't lose, what's the word? Faith in themselves or confidence in themselves to listen and find out for themselves. I
Yeah.
think
And so that's part of what I teach as well from the self-love type of things. You have to know who you are, right? And so when you know who you are, you can listen to your body and you can
yeah,
understand what it needs. And so if what I hear you saying is that something starts happening in your body, instead of just going to the doctor and saying, hey, give me a pill or give me something to help me fix it, figure out what you might be able to do to make improvements on your own. Is that what part of what you're saying?
absolutely. And yeah, we do all overlap a lot, not all of us, but yeah, that core message is really similar for us. And I think it's really connecting to yourself, which is what you're saying as well. It is just knowing that you can get connected to the source of the things that are going on in you. Absolutely.
Yeah. A good example that I'm working on right now in my own life is sleep hygiene. I have always been known as the girl, like I can sleep anywhere. I can fall asleep anywhere, but just being able to go to sleep doesn't mean you have good sleep,
True.
right? And so as I've gotten older, the sleep thing has become a little bit of a different issue. And currently, just with a lot happening in my life, all the things at night when I try and go to bed, my brain stays on. And it's like, what do I do? I can't, like, I lay down at 10 o'clock to be at bed and go to sleep by 10:30, and I'm still up at 1 o'clock looking at the clock, like, what
Yeah,
just happened? And
I know
so
that feeling.
I do have a evening routine that I do. And I've started sleeping with a sleep mask and I have
Good
earplugs that
idea.
I use. And what I have found is that I really like sleeping with the earplugs and the face mask. I really like it. But because with trial and error, I have found that if I do just the sleep mask, I wake up easier in the morning, but I don't necessarily sleep as well. With the earplugs, I sleep in the mask, I sleep better because it blocks out the sound, But then when it's time to get up, I have a harder time waking up. Like the natural sounds without the earplugs help me
Yeah.
wake up easier. And so I'm just having to experiment and figure it out. But sleep hygiene is and keeping the room cool, a little bit cooler. And
Mm.
for some people, and there's no shade on this, if this is something that you like, I would just go get, there's medicines that help you sleep and you just do that without trying anything natural, anything like what I'm doing. There's no shade, no shame on any of that. Just for me personally, I'm trying to figure out how to take care of myself in this kind of way. And when
That's
we,
interesting with it.
another word would be autonomy. Like I have responsibility and my ability to take care of me in a way that honors who I am. And that I think that's what I hear you saying as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I just think society is pushing us away from that more and more. That feeling of being confident in our own abilities. And that's why we need to keep connected to the fact that we have that capacity. Yeah.
That's so good. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed or afraid to take medicine. I actually have two medicines I take on a daily basis. I just don't want to keep adding to them if I don't have to.
Uh,
If I can figure it out in a better way. I also have found that I've started doing apple cider vinegar, just
mm,
diluted in water right before, like 30 minutes before I go to bed, just a little, and taking a really good magnesium. It's the
yeah.
craziest thing. I heard somebody talking about it, a guy I follow on YouTube, and he suggested it, and I did it for 2 or 3 weeks, and I started feeling better when I woke up, and then I got out of the habit, and I'm like, what changed? Oh, and so I started doing it again this week, and I'm like, oh, look, like, and
Is
what
that
is it
the,
about us that we start doing something, we
I
feel better,
know,
and then we
so often
stop, and then we're
more.
like surprised, oh, well, huh,
So that's the vinegar and the magnesium, or one of the, which do you feel one of them was
both. No, I
together?
started to, I don't know if separately, I don't
Okay,
know
you haven't
which
tried
one. I
separately.
started them at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the apple cider vinegar about 30 minutes before I go to bed, and then right after I do that, I take the magnesium. And then the other thing, my morning routine, I've just restarted and I have a pretty good system that I've done for a long time, but I've noticed that I just don't go outside very often. We live in a small space. We have a little patio. It's not super big and it's hot in Texas. But what I've started doing and have made a commitment to do every day this month is when I get up, instead of going to sit down on the sofa and turn on my computer, sit in my chair, or do anything, I get a big glass of water and I go sit out on the porch for just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just part of my morning. And oh my gosh, like the just being in tune enough to listen and see the things around me and to hear and listen to the
Yeah.
sounds. And I've been having problems with my eyes and part of it, so I'm going to be 54 years old, and but I'm so often just looking at screen distance. Like I'm just from here to here, and my eyes don't get to look farther. And
Yeah.
so spending that time in the morning where I'm actively looking out at the trees way further, paying attention to all those things, I think it's helping my eyes.
Brilliant.
And so there's so many things that we can do. We just have to be aware of our body and to slow down enough to
Slow
to
down.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those morning things. And
Yeah, I know
some
a
morning,
lot of times when we're on calls for different things, you're sitting outside. And
yeah.
so I think, do you go out? You have a pool as well. And so,
Oh yeah, yeah. And we live in the woods. And some mornings I'll be up straight out to work like you. It's not every day you'd have the opportunity for that. But when I do, I'll
yeah,
go sit on the step with a cup of tea and yeah,
yeah,
sounds of the woods. And I feel really lucky to live in such a
yeah,
beautiful spot.
yeah, we
But it
do
makes me
too. We live down
happy.
in some trees. We're about 30 minutes outside of Austin. And so we actually have a bunch of trees around us. I absolutely love it.
Mm.
And It's
You're in one
beautiful where we
place.
live.
You're in one
Hmm.
spot.
We don't travel. Yeah, we
Oh,
don't
okay.
travel. Yeah, for now. And so the rig we live in, we wouldn't travel in. We would get something different or probably smaller. This is actually,
Okay.
it's basically set up like a tiny house, really. It's just, it's set up as a house. We would not be moving it anytime soon.
Oh, because when I've
Yeah.
heard you say that the RV or did you say the
Yeah,
RV?
the RV. The
Yeah,
RV, yeah.
I
We
thought
live in an RV.
I thought you were traveling around the
Yeah,
place.
so that's the intent for a lot of people. And we decided to do this to try to see if we could live in one. And
Wow.
eventually we will be traveling. But when
Mm.
we moved down here, the cost of renting and stuff was so expensive. We just decided to go ahead and give it a try. And if we didn't like it, we could get a house or something. But we've been here in it for almost 3 years now, and love it and
Wow.
absolutely love it. So, yeah.
What the simplicity of it? Like
Yeah,
the
it's just let yeah, I still have to do work with Georgie on the purge stuff though, because there's still too much even though we're in an RV. But yeah, I
yeah.
love it's less to manage. It's just not overwhelming. The idea of being in a big house, again, I don't, if we ever did anything, and we've talked about what we may do later of having just a small house, but it would be like a 2 bedroom just for another bedroom for the kids and grandkids to come stay. It will never be anything major
Yeah.
big. And that is the one downside. We don't really have it. We have enough room where the grandsons can come and spend the night because they're small still, only 6 and 12. But for anybody else, it's just not super comfortable. So anyway, we could talk all day long because we're friends
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. But I do want to make sure that everybody watching is getting value. And I love what I love about the way these micro interviews have come together is truly the variety and the different people and the different topics and the different things that everybody's sharing, the different energies, and just to find great women out in the world, all over the world, that I can then share with my women. And so now they're
Mm.
going to know about you, and you have a community on school. If they're wanting to learn more about posture and the different things, they can just click on over. You are in the Safe Heart Connections community, so if they have questions, they can message you directly there. And I'll make sure that all your
Yeah, I
links
love
to all the
that.
places are around the video.
Brilliant.
Yep. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
closing thoughts before we wrap up today?
No, that was just lovely to hear the sleep routine. That's going to make me think now. I'm going to go away and sleep, wake. It's absolutely fundamental. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
great to
Very
chat.
good. I will see you soon.
Yep, see you soon. Thank you.